Hello everybody! As you already saw, after all the footage at Hobipalooza, I decided to film this segment where I tell you all about my experience at the festival. But you will have to forgive me. I apologize. I have my tablet here where I wrote all the all the details and the things I want to mention, so I apologize if I will probably mostly read them, so I make sure I mention everything. So yeah, call me fake, call me it's all scripted, nothing is real or whatever, but I feel more comfortable like this. Of course, I will talk more based on what I read from here, but just so you know, I'm sorry if I won't look in the camera that much, if that makes sense. Also, I think this video will have a lot of cuts because my lovely neighbors decided to renovate their apartment, like starting, I don't even know, it's like 3 weeks or already a month, but they just do it whenever they want to. They don't care that it's early in the morning, or they should respect the resting hours, which are clearly stated in the law. They just drill and hammer whenever they want to. So I'll probably have to stop recording at certain points just because they're being too loud, just so you know. The first thing I need to mention, and I feel like it's a central part in this whole festival experience, is the weather. Weeks, like days and even weeks before our trip to Berlin, my friend and I looked at the weather, and like we checked the weather constantly, and it showed that it was going to rain the whole weekend, and it clearly stated that it will be the worst on Sunday, like exactly the day Hobie performs. I actually told myself that I refuse to believe that is the day our sunshine Hobie performs, so it has to be sunny. I don't accept otherwise. And it seems like I've underestimated my power of manifesting, if that makes sense. Yeah. There were four of us that left together, so four of us booked flight tickets together, but I stayed with two other friends in a hotel, and our fourth friend joined another bigger group of armies in a different part of the city. Like they stayed closer to the stadium. So we were a bigger group of Romanian armies in Berlin for Hobipalooza, if that makes sense. I stayed there with friend Jay, that you all know already from previous vlogs, and a new friend in my vlogs, friend D. So basically, my whole trip was just my friend Jay, my friend D, and I all together. So you can understand. A day before Hobie's performance, we went to watch Ive and Justin Timberlake. And for Justin, we easily found spots very close to the second barricade, like it was the second row or something. And we actually told ourselves that this is the perfect spot. And if we can get the same spot for Hobie's performance the next day, it would be like the perfect, the ideal spot, if that makes sense. We already knew we weren't going to be camping. We just decided to be there when the gates open at 11 a.m. But eventually, in the morning, like in the morning of the performance, we decided to be there a little earlier. Now, when we woke up the next day, it was pouring outside. I felt so disappointed and like, I don't know, like so out of it, if that makes sense. Like I wasn't in the mood at all. because I hate rain when I have to do important stuff. Like, you all know that rainy, gloomy weather is my absolute favorite. But just to like cozy up and enjoy it, not when I have to be out and like run in the rain. And I also have to, like, I don't know, be at certain places and look in a decent way. Like, I don't know, just like it overall, when I have to do important things on rainy days, I just get so annoyed. It just, the rain annoys me so much. I turn into an old cranky lady. Everything pisses me off. So yeah, like, just no, I hate it in those circumstances, if that makes sense. Therefore, I barely got myself ready. I didn't even put on like an entire, like, full face of makeup how I wanted to, like, try different looks and stuff. I didn't care at all about that. I didn't even wear the entire outfit I somehow had planned. I only wore this t-shirt that I have on. Wait. It's personalized. A few of us had it, as you can see. There's the logo printed in here, and that tiny thing right there is the map of Romania. So that, like, it's like I heart J-Hope, as in like Romanian armies love J-Hope, if that makes sense. Um, some of us had it personalized so we can wear it at the festival, especially to represent Romanian armies, if that makes sense. And in the bottoms, I only wear a pair of jeans to keep me comfortable. I bought SPF, like a new one, especially for the festival, but when I saw how hard it was pouring, I left it in the hotel room. And that was a very big mistake. Now, I wanted to film this part as soon as I got back home, in like back in Romania, so I can show you the actual proof on my face, how, like, how sunburned I was. But a lot has happened since I got home and I didn't have enough time, but I'll probably insert a photo of my freaking red face so you can see the state in which I was. I'm also on this. This is not the best lighting either, but I'm sunburned like very weirdly. There's like just a spot in here, like this is my entire hand, and it's just like this. And it goes like this. This is like a big spot of sunburn, if that makes sense, because the sun was hitting me on my left side, so my left side was more burned than my right side. It was just like, oh my god, like, ew, no. I can't remember exactly when we left our hotel rooms, but we got there at around 9:30 or a bit earlier. Actually, we could have arrived even earlier than that, but something happened on our way to the stadium, and the train had to stop in a train station, like on the platform, for like 20 minutes or so. I don't know exactly what happened. Yeah, whatever. But we arrived exactly as Hobie was rehearsing, like as we were sitting in the line in front of the gates to like pass through whenever the time was up. We could hear him practice. Like, we could hear him do the sound check and stuff in the far back where the stage was. As we were waiting in front of the gates, we actually got to find out that they had already opened another gate an hour earlier than usual, so at 10 a.m. So other armies were already inside, and the first barricade had already been fully occupied. That is not nice. I did not appreciate that. Why? did you do that? As soon as the gates opened for us too at 11 a.m., everyone rushed to the stage. But how do I say it? They it was in an organized and calm manner, if that makes sense. Like, they weren't rushing, like, I don't know, they weren't running for their lives or like creating stampedes and bumping into each other. It was just like going a bit faster, because again, you couldn't even, like, even if you wanted to, you couldn't like properly run because the pavement was wet and slippery because of all the rain. And once you got to the, like, to the actual ground and like the soil of the festival, like the grassy soil and stuff, it was all muddy, all wet. And even if you wanted to properly run, like, you couldn't, like, your shoes would get stuck in all that mud, if that makes sense. So it was okay overall, if that makes sense. Exactly as we wished the day before, we actually managed to secure spots at the second barricade, but this time just a few rows behind, if that makes sense. And as soon as we found our spots, that's when the sun came out, and it stayed there the whole entire day. Hence the lobster face I had for days after. Yeah. Then friend Jay went to the merch line, and she actually stayed there in plain sun for an entire hour. She got us all three the Lollapalooza acorns, and for her and I, she also got the Army Bomb, the, like, the newest version, the Map of the Soul one, because we had the older version. And for friend D, she got that pink, cute scarf that says Sweet Dreams on it. That was really cute. Now, here comes the not so nice part. This part will be a bit longer, and I will tell you everything that happened without, like, filters, without sugarcoating it, because I don't want to glorify something that's not okay, if that makes sense. So yeah, after friend Jay returned from the merch line, we tried to get closer to that other part of the group. Remember how we flew with another friend and she joined another bigger group of friends in another part of the city? Well, that group of friends was literally just a few people away from us, like right in the front, literally at the fence of the barricade. And after friend Jay returned from the merch line, we tried to reach the rest of the group. But other armies wouldn't allow us to. Basically, we were somehow like, these are, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like our friends were kind of right in the middle of the barricade, and we were just a few people away from them to the right side. As you were facing the stage, it's like to the right, but there were just a few people in between us, if that makes sense. But those other armies kept resisting us. Even if we kept telling them that we're just trying to reach our friends, like, they could literally see us talking to them. Like, it was clear we knew them and we wanted to reach them, but they didn't care. Remember that my friend got 2 army bombs, and we had no bag or anything else like big so we can store them in. So she also had to buy the tote bag so she can place everything that she bought inside it. And at some point, we again wanted to reach our friends so we can give them that bag so they can keep it secure there, because they were right in the front, so they would not move from there. The bag would have been safer with them instead of us, who were a few rows behind. And like, we would risk getting that bag, like, I don't know, kicked, stepped on, or I don't know, it would get dirty because of all the mud on the ground and stuff like that. And again, those other armies would not allow us to pass through, so we can at least give them that bag so they can keep it safer in their place. They just wouldn't let us pass through. Now, there was this girl who came with her friends later than us and actually accused us of coming later, and from behind, from the back, and was trying to imply that we are somehow trying to sneakily get through them and get in front. Girl, what? They were actually really rude, but like, how are you trying to like lie to us? Like, don't we know when we get there? Don't we know for how long have we been here and we have not seen you and your friends? Like, how are you trying to like lie to us that no, somehow you were magically here, we couldn't see you, and we are the ones getting here later than you? What is wrong with you? By the time more and more people started coming in, of course, those people like right in the very back of the barricade area kept unwillingly pushing us closer to the actual fence, and those people who were right in the very front of the barricade kept yelling for them to like take a step back, but they would ignore that as well. Again, because it rained a lot during all those days, not just in that morning, we actually got trash bags with us so we can put them on the ground and sit on them, because obviously the ground was wet. But we barely got to sit on them for a few minutes when we entered the venue, so we didn't actually use them that much overall. So in between the artists' sets, most people would sit either on their raincoats or trash bags that, by the way, we actually passed around because we bought an entire pack. Like, that entire pack of trash bags looked like a log or something. It was huge. So we passed the trash bags around in case anyone needed one. But again, as more and more people would gather in the area, it became impossible for some of us to lay down because other would take up a lot of space. This is also one of the things that annoyed me the most. Again, that is also when those people in the front once again started yelling to those far behind to take at least one step back so we can have room to basically move. But they wouldn't listen again. This is also when that girlie and her friends, the ones that accused us of coming late when they were actually the ones being there later than us, showed their real rudeness. Because they were sitting down, taking up so much space as if they were in a park at a picnic with their friends. But they had the audacity to tell us to take a step back. Excuse me, what? That's when I got really pissed and I actually yelled at her, "You don't get to tell us to take a step back when you lie there with your friends like you're at a picnic." Because we were actually at the same level. Like, if she would have stood up properly like the rest of us, her and her friends would literally be at the same level of us, so in like the same row with us, if that makes sense. So how dare you tell us to do that while you just comfortably sit down? Make it make sense. That's actually the whole idea, for us all to have enough space and not sit crowded, because people like you would take up so much space. Because of you all sitting down, you would basically make us get crowded even more, because we would just like normally stand up, but while you were sitting down, you would take up a lot of our own personal space, if that makes sense. Like, I'm sorry, I love Army, but I'm also going to call out Army when they're not being respectful and considerate. Sorry, not sorry. Even the security guards told us a few times to not sit down anymore. They would make us all stand up, because it wasn't fair for others, since those people sitting down were taking up so much space. Like, hello. There were even girls that started doing their makeups sitting down in the middle of the crowd, not like disregarding, like not giving a crap, disregarding the rest of us, trying to stand up in that tiny little space we still had left, because they all lied down anything they could so they can comfortably sit down. Behind me, there was also a younger girl with her mother, and by the very end, like I think an hour before Hobby's performance, she was basically sitting at the back of my feet, if that makes sense. Like, this is the back of my shoe, and her legs were like somewhere like here, like hello, like I have no space to basically exist, if that makes sense. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure this girl spent most of her time lying down. So yeah, anyways, by that time when it was so close to Hobie's performance, she was literally like in me, if that makes sense. I couldn't even properly um, move or even keep my balance, because, again, she was in me, if that makes sense. And she was just sitting nonchalantly, crossed legs, playing on her phone the whole fucking time. Like, girl, what is wrong with you? Please have some decency. Please be a bit more considerate of your surroundings. Because if I would have made a wrong move or lost my balance because of her, I would have straight up collapsed over her, and that would have been dangerous. And it would have been my fault for falling over her, right? But nobody thinks that it wasn't okay for her to be that close to me. Hello? At some point, I literally gave up, and in like a very tiny space, I took out and laid down one trash bag, but I couldn't like even properly open it to its full length, if that makes sense, because there was no space. And I literally kneeled on it, because of course there was not enough space to properly sit on it, because I felt like I couldn't stand up anymore. I was so out of it. And again, nobody cared. Like, I struggled there, but nobody cared. In front of friend Jay, there were four women, like actually two mothers and their daughters. So mother, daughter, mother, daughter. And one of those daughters um had high heeled boots on. Yeah, I'll give you a moment to process that. High heeled boots. Girl, girl, it poured the night before. It was pouring a few hours before, like in the morning. It rained the days before as well. The ground is muddy, mushy, all wet, and you decided to wear high heeled shoes. Like, I'm not trying to judge anyone's style, but in this situation, couldn't you think of the consequences before? Like, couldn't you assess the situation, if that makes sense? Like, so of course, after some time, she literally took off her boots and stayed barefoot, but she kept her pair of boots under her armpit, and whenever she would move around, she basically kept poking my friends with the heels because like she was holding her like boots under here, and my friends were at her back, and when she would move around she would hit my friends with the boots. Her mother would also move very chaotically. She would have like this crossbody bag, a smaller one, but whenever she would move, she would constantly hit my friends with that bag, but never ever apologizing. Like, not even apologizing, basically acknowledging our existence there. It's like she basically disregarded our entire existence. It's like it was just her daughter, that other woman, and her daughter, just the four of them there. Like, the rest of us were some type of like optical illusion or something. No, it was just them there. The rest didn't matter. Hello? Also, I have this might be controversial because I don't know um how this ticket category is supposed to like work, if that makes sense. So I may be wrong in this part, but there were a lot of people that had VIP tickets that were in the barricade areas, and the VIP people had their own separate designated area with actual seats, and they were empty. There have been hours and hours when the entire VIP section was completely empty. Empty, not one seat was taken in the VIP area, but a lot of people with VIP bracelets were among us in the barricade area. Um, is that fair? I'm not sure. Is it fair? Is it not? Like, also, a tall couple was right in front, like first row at the barricade, blocking the view. And I swear, I think they were like climbing onto the barricade's fence or like leaning onto it, because like there was no way they were that tall, if that makes sense. Like, for sure they were standing on something else, or like, I don't know, they were leaning again, like they were leaning onto the fence, or like, I don't know, but they were basically for sure sitting on something, or I don't know, to be at that level. Like, again, you couldn't have been that tall at that level. There was no way you're just naturally that tall to reach that level. You're clearly either sitting somehow on that fence of the barricade or something else to make you be at that level. Like, please have some consideration. Like, I don't get it. Okay, I can understand that sitting for so many hours in the sun when you did not expect the sun to come out. It was supposed to be rainy the whole day. Um, makes you like tired and you get cranky and everything annoys you. But most of the stuff that I've just explained happened in like the very first part of the day, and it's not about uh, this was clearly not something that got you like pissed because you were tired. This is all about being respectful and considerate. Again, I can also understand that if you want to sit in the barricade area, you have to expect to not be that comfortable, to not have that cozy of an experience, if that makes sense. But again, everything I've just explained to me was just a matter of character, being respectful and considerate towards others. It's not just that you were pissed that you spent too much time sitting up, because ironically those people creating problems were the ones that were most comfortable. So yeah, but of course there were nice armies as well. Right in the beginning, before we tried to move closer to the rest of the group, um they were like trying to give us sweets and like, I don't know, those fruity drops and stuff, so we can have more energy for later. There was one girl that actually wanted to pass us vitamins and electrolytes so we can dissolve in our water to keep our energy levels high. That was of course really nice of her and of the other armies, and of course I truly appreciate that. I just wanted to first mention all the bad things, because I don't want people to think that I'm glorifying this experience, or I'm just straight up telling the facts. And again, these are just the experiences my friend and I had. Of course, there can be armies that were sitting in another area or in another part of any kind of barricade, the first or the second one that we stayed in, but they stayed in different parts and maybe they did not have any negative experience. I'm not downplaying that, or I'm not just claiming that it was overall awful or whatever. No, not at all. I'm just straight up telling you what we experienced. This doesn't mean that, oh my god, it was awful and I hated everything. And no, I was there for a hobby. That's all that matters, if that makes sense. Like, overall, I'm happy I've experienced this. I just wanted to tell you that there were also not so nice armies there, if we can even call them armies, because real armies, I don't think they would do such disrespectful things, if that makes sense, right? Regarding security, everything was really nice and organized. The security guards in front of the barricade kept passing us water from time to time. Of course, not everyone was able to get water, but if needed, they would make sure to bring more water later, if that makes sense. They were very nice and, I don't know, like on point. No major incident actually happened. Overall, we were understanding. We followed their like rules or their suggestions. If they were telling us to do something, we would act on it. We wouldn't complain or anything like this, except those people that would just stand up right when the security guard would tell us all to stand up, but a few minutes later they would comfortably sit back down, like disregarding the rest of us struggling. But that's I mentioned that. So yeah, overall I think we did amazing, and I'm glad this was noticed and recognized and praised. And like, yeah, I'm glad we got praised for our behavior by the organizers and the media. And I think that's really nice and really wholesome. I'm proud of the real armies that did the nice things, if that makes sense. All the artists performing before Hobby were actually really nice acts. And I'm actually happy that thanks to this experience, I've discovered new artists. Yuli had a really nice sound. Ronis Goliath, who wasn't even supposed to perform, he basically filled in for another artist, was so amazing. His energy was so great. He knew how to keep us entertained. We felt engaged in his energy, and we were able to hype him up how he deserved it. And I'm glad he enjoyed it too. I think we liked him so much that we even borrowed the phrase he made us chant, and we used it for Hobby too. For his stage, he made us say, Ronis, we want to party. And we chanted, J-Hope, we want to party before J-Hope's set. And I think even during one of his ments, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Ronis even wrote so beautifully about us on his social media. So I'm happy he was happy. Like, I'm happy we made him happy by like hyping him up, if that makes sense. A huge surprise were Catriel and Paco Amoroso, or Catriel y Paco Amoroso, since it's in Spanish, if that makes sense. Oh my god. Actually, I gotta expose myself. Shame on me. But when I first saw them walk on stage with their appearance in their strange outfits, I judged so hard. I was like, what the fuck is this? But when they opened their mouths to sing, holy shit, mind blown. Their songs are so versatile, their voices as well. They encompass so many elements from so many music genres in their songs. Like, it was so like eye-opening and mind-blowing, the whole experience. I'm also really thankful that they were the only artists that on the screens they had the lyrics of their songs translated. Obviously, since this happened in Germany, they were translated in German, but they were singing in Spanish, and I understand Spanish, so I did not need to see the translations. But I appreciated the fact that they translated everything for everyone to understand, if that makes sense. Very nice of them. And they actually got me so intrigued that as soon as I got back home, like back in Romania, I looked them up and even watched their Tiny Desk concert. And I gotta admit, I admire them. But, I'm aware that their songs might not be everyone's cup of tea because of their explicit nature, if that makes sense. But basically, that's actually their trademark, so you can't really complain. It's like you either like them especially because the nature of their songs, or you just don't like them at all, if that makes sense, you know? Benson. Oh, wow. He was amazing as well. I sobbed so hard when he sang In the Stars, but I also got pissed, if that makes sense. Again, pissed at some people in the crowd. Because when he introduced the song, he actually spoke very beautifully about the song and how this is an emotional one about people that aren't here with us anymore. And he specifically told us that he wants us all to feel the emotions in the song and to put down our phones and not record anything for the duration of the song. But of course, there were people that still took out their phones and filmed it. Like, can just like when the artist asks you to put down the phone and not record and just feel the emotions in a song, especially such a special and emotional one like this one, can't you just like restrain yourself for just a few minutes in your life? Like, why are you so disrespectful I will never understand this. So yeah, anyways, he was also such a nice performer, and he also kept us hyped up. And we, like, the people in the first barricade also took part in the little like fan event that was prepared for him. And the armies there put up a little like note for him. I can't remember what was written on those, like, we love you, or something like that. I can't remember, but he appreciated that as well. I also read on Twitter, on like an army that was there, who also mentioned that armies there actually gave up their front row barricade seats to Benson's fans so they can enjoy their moment properly. So that's also something to be appreciated. And like, I don't know, overall, like, this is why I say I was made for the concert life. And I truly mean it in a general way. Like, the overall feeling of being there in the crowd, enjoying the songs an artist passionately performs on stage, knowing you're there with other tens of thousands of people who share the same emotions as you, but for so many different reasons. Nothing, like nothing, can compare to this feeling of belonging. And they can be songs you heard for the first time. You just discovered those artists then and there. You don't even, you are not even their fan. But if they were able to leave a mark on you, to make you feel something while they performed, I think that means they're great. J-Hope. J-Hope. He was absolutely legendary. His stage presence was so brilliant. He was oozing confidence through that see-through shirt. And his overall like aura was so fucking godly. Such an iconic performer. He's now he's the actual artist. He knows what he's talking about. He knows better than us all. So I don't want to invalidate his feelings, but I genuinely do not understand why he felt disappointed in his performance after he monitored himself, as he mentioned in his Weaver's life after. Um, I don't know. I even watched the performance at home. When I got home, I wanted to see how the experience feels watching it at home rather than how I experienced it in the crowd live. And I still didn't feel anything was wrong, if that makes sense. Like, he gave his all on stage, not once did he sleep up. The energy was high for the entire performance, nothing felt off. There was no real mistake to be noticed. His whole performance was the definition of euphoria. It's like you were in a trance. He truly made us feel like we're in heaven. Like, wow, is this really what happens in heaven? You are truly such a brilliant artist, J Hope, and words cannot express how proud I am of you. You truly, truly um, made history with this performance. That's just expected from someone like you. Like, I'm really, really proud of you. And I'm honestly so happy I had moments when I could clearly, directly see him with my own eyes on stage. I mean, I wear glasses, I'm nearsighted, so I don't really properly see very clearly, but you know what I mean. And like, oh my god, he is actually indeed real. Like, I know I'm late to the party. I know it took me 10 years to freaking see a BTS member live on stage. But yes, you guys, he is real. J-Hope is actually real. Like, oh, this is so cringy. Oh my god. I'm also really happy that he loved our Purple Hearts project. I mean, the project that German armies prepared, and I really want to take this opportunity to thank German armies for their lovely idea and basically for making us international armies feel so welcomed in their country. Like, I swear the entire city of Berlin was armified. So it felt so wholesome. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, this was my experience, and overall I'm glad I I've experienced this. I'm glad finally one of my dreams came true to see BTS live, even though it's just a member. It's still BTS, so I'm really thankful. Like it it doesn't really matter. Like I did it. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it happened. And I'm filming this um over a week after. So wow, I still cannot fully process this happened. So yeah, now some pieces of advice before I end this part. Just like general advices for a festival, to prepare yourself for a festival. Like I said, we managed to sit at the second barricade, like fourth or fifth row, if that makes sense. And for someone like me who is very anxious and has had issues in the past with the powerful sound or the bass being too loud when staying too close to the stage, let me tell you that the second barricade is the best option. I recommend everyone who has the same issues as me to try it. It's the best, like the most perfect spot for someone like this. And the sound is also very clear, and overall I felt very comfortable sitting there. Like not once did I feel anxious, not once did I feel like, oh my god, I want to escape this crowd, I feel suffocated or stuff like this. Like I was, like I even surprised myself by how comfortable and actually relieved I felt. I was actually worried that as soon as we get closer to Hobie's performance, people would get like more and more chaotic because everyone there was mostly there for J-Hope, and I thought they would like get agitated and stuff, but no, nothing like that happened. We were all in our element once he came on stage, and again, I can't believe I felt actually very relieved and so comfortable as soon as he started singing, and I was there like singing and yelling and like just having the time of my life there. Very unexpected. Again, I worried that I might get anxious or I might actually feel claustrophobic and stuff, but no, not at all. Again, second barricade, if you have this kind of worries, is the best option. I don't know how the rules are in other places or at other festivals, but here at the entrance, we weren't thoroughly searched. On the first evening, they actually looked through our bags, but I had a clear backpack, a clear small backpack. So they just skimmed through it a bit. It wasn't like a thorough search again. But on the next day, when we actually sat at the re entry gates, they didn't even open our bags. And we actually had no issue going inside with that full pack of trash bags, which again, I told you, it looked like an actual log. Like it was this huge, like this huge, a roll with so many trash bags to pull out. And I even had half of a pretzel stuffed in my raincoat's pocket that I totally forgot about. Again, if possible or if accepted, I would suggest to bring your foldable water bottle already filled from home. I know some festivals don't accept you to come with a filled water bottle, even if it's like foldable and whatever, but I had no issue here, and this basically saved my life. This saved me. I hung onto that filled water bottle from my hotel room for the entire day. I was actually able to make my way through the crowd after a few hours to go to the toilet. And that's when I also wanted to refill my water bottle. But the line for the water refill was so huge, so I gave up. But I do appreciate the fact that the water refill stations and the toilets were demarcated. Is that even a word? For each barricade. Like you had separate water refill stations and toilets for each barricade. Like this is the front row barricade, water refills somewhere, and toilets somewhere. Second barricade, water refills in that part and toilets in that part, like demarcated with fences and stuff. So you don't have to leave the area and go God knows where to release yourself or to like look for water and stuff, if that makes sense. So that was a really good thing. Now, from the videos I've personally watched, and I wanted to do this too with my friends, but eventually it wasn't needed. Make sure you take a closer look at your surroundings and decide on a meeting spot, a meeting place for you and your group of friends in case you get separated from them, because the phone service is really low or mostly inexistent. So, most probably, you won't be able to call your friends if you get lost and don't know where to find them. We had weekend tickets, and I said that on Saturday we went to watch Ive and Justin Timberlake, but we mostly wanted to go there a day before Hobie's performance so we can take a look at the place and like assess the place and know what to prepare and what to expect the next day. That's like when we took a look at the surroundings near the stadium, where everything was placed, the merch booths, how the stage looked like, how we can get through, where are the water refill stations, and so it would be easier for us on the most important day, the next day, when Hobie's performance was. But again, this was not needed personally, like for me, because I was there mostly with two of my friends and we just stuck together. We were just there, the three of us mostly, because again, we stayed together at the hotel. The rest of the group stayed in another hotel, so we didn't really need to be together with them and like leave together, if that makes sense. Regarding food and eating, during the breaks between sets, some people would make their way through the crowd and buy food, but I recommend you to have small snacks with you. Or I saw people mentioning chewing gum, but from what I I've known my entire life, chewing gum on an empty stomach or when you're actually feeling hungry makes it actually even worse for your stomach. So I don't know if I should suggest you this, but I'm just mentioning it because I've watched people mention chewing gum in their suggestions. So I don't know, you do what's best for you. I don't know. Like I mentioned, I had that half of a pretzel that I had stuffed in my raincoat's pocket, but I actually forgot about it and didn't actually need it eventually because I also had two small packs of sugar because we bought coffee before we left to the stadium. And I ate those every few hours, if that makes sense, so I don't get low on sugar and stuff like that. So I personally didn't really feel the need to eat anything else, nor did I actually feel hungry, which is quite surprising for me because I can't I can't go long without eating, because then I end up having excruciating headaches, and I didn't get any. So that means that somehow those tiny 2 packs of sugar were actually helpful, I guess, because again, I did not feel the need to eat. So I think those helped. But again, this is not me encouraging you to just do what I did. You know yourself better. So just do what's best for you, okay? It's not okay what I did. That's just how I handled everything. Again, like I suggested, you should bring like snacks. Just make sure they're not like chocolate bars or whatever, so they don't melt again in case the weather is really hot. So you do you. Again, I trust you. You know yourself better, so you know how to handle this like eating stuff, okay? I'm just don't, you know what I mean? Like, you know yourself better. You know what's best for you. You do what's best for you, okay? Also, please dress comfortably. Dress comfortably. Make sure you know the weather, even though, again, it was very strange even for us, because we expected to be rainy outside, but the sun came out and it stayed there, and again, we got sunburnt and stuff. But make sure you're dressed comfortably, because this is not like your normal, I don't know, concert. Haven't been to a major concert like K-pop concert before, but I've been to concerts generally, and this is not like a festival. It's not like a concert where you stay in a seated area and stuff. Again, unless you have like VIP or whatever else other like special package and stuff, but like general entry or whatever, you're not sitting on an actual pavement. Or here it's like on like a ground, like a soil. So make sure you dress comfortably and wear comfortable shoes. Please, 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 if you want to have like a nice outfit overall, just maybe save that outfit for, again, a proper concert in a designated arena or like stadium, where you know you have your own seat and you can sit down if you get tired of like wearing high heeled shoes and all that. Like, um avoid high heels, because I can guarantee you your favorite male artist, in this case, because I went to Hobie's performance, um, I can guarantee you he will not fall in love with you. He won't notice you in that really huge crowd. He won't notice your perfect, beautiful, aesthetic outfit or your huge, chunky high heels or whatever, and he won't want to marry you. In the worst case, you might actually make him laugh at you because you didn't dress accordingly. You dressed in not like, just, again, I'm saying this to protect you. I'm telling you this because I care about you and like the safety of your legs, I guess. Um please save your dignity. Like, I don't know how to put this. Again, you know yourself better, so if you can handle everything and like you want to go all in and wear a really nice outfit at a festival, you do you. But again, if you want to stand up for so many hours, and if it's like in plain heat and stuff, safety first, okay? Your own safety is the most important all the time, no matter what. Especially again at a festival, outside, in plain heat, if it's heat, or when it's pouring. If it's pouring, you might like Again, if you wear high heels, you might slip on them and like hurt your legs and stuff. Just be comfortable. But I'm again also well aware that the definition of being comfortable may differ to one another. So I'm just telling you to stay comfortable. And again, from my own perspective and what I've noticed, again, with that high heeled girl that kept poking my friends, uh, just please make sure you're comfortable and you're also considerate towards the rest of us, the rest of the festival participants. Okay? Thank you for understanding. And most importantly, bring SPF no matter what. Even if it's a snowing blizzard outside, like, just don't risk turning into a tomato like I did, okay? In my 32 years of life, I have never gotten sunburned, but I guess there's a first for everything, regardless of the age. Just this is overall everything I wanted to mention. Again, I just told you my personal experience. This is what I went through. It's not a general opinion. Again, maybe other armies really only had splendid experiences, if that makes sense. Like, they had nothing negative to say. I'm not downplaying that or anything. I'm not trying to say like, oh no, they must be lying or whatever. This is just my personal experience. Please understand, I'm not generalizing it, and I'm not saying I despise the whole experience and I hated everything and all that, because again, hobby was the most important part. That's all I cared for in the end, okay? Make sure you stay comfortable, you have everything secured, and just overall safety first no matter what, okay? So you can have a pleasant experience. Be safe, stay safe, and be considerate of the others as well. Please, 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 okay? Just overall enjoy yourself, but also be considerate, okay? That's all I have to say, I guess. Thank you for understanding and for listening to my chatter. And oh my god, I've spoken for an hour and 17 minutes. Holy shit. How am I going to edit this out? I don't know. Stay safe, be considerate, and enjoy your time there. That's the most important. Okay? Thank you for your understanding. Bye!